Okay, so what if I told you that for the last 30 years, we've been told a massive lie about climate change? A lie that says fixing it has to be a sacrifice. What if the math we've been using is just completely wrong? We're going to break it down.
For 3 whole decades, this has been the story, right? Fighting climate change is an expense. It's a cost. This bitter pill we all have to swallow to avoid some future catastrophe. It's always framed as money going out the door.
But what if that's the big mistake? What if we flipped that entire idea on its head? What if solving the climate crisis isn't a cost at all, but is actually the single greatest investment opportunity in the history of the world?
To really get why this new idea is so powerful, we have to first understand the old math, the equation that, let's be honest, has been failing us for a very, very long time.
And this right here just lays it out in black and white. On the left, you've got your typical carbon credit. You buy it, the money is gone. Poof. It's a guaranteed negative 100% return on investment. But on the right, that's something totally different. That's treating carbon removal as an asset that grows in value.
So why is that old model so broken? Well, it turns out the whole system is basically a house of cards. It's built on fuzzy projections, not real-world proof. And then you get this bombshell report that found up to 90% of certain rainforest credits were what they call phantom offsets, meaning they did absolutely nothing.
Okay, so if the old way is a bust, what's the new equation? Well, it's a fundamental shift. It's about stop treating carbon as a problem to be disposed of and starting to see it as maybe humanity's most valuable asset. And this is the heart of it, the bioactive carbon bond. Now, don't think of this like a donation receipt. No. Think of it more like owning a share in a high-tech, regenerative farm. It's a real, tangible asset, and it's backed by living soil that actually gets healthier and more valuable over time. And here it is. This is the number that changes the entire game. And look, this isn't some wild guess or best-case scenario. This is a conservative, scientifically validated annual return on investment. Suddenly, fighting climate change isn't charity. It's just a really, really smart business decision.
And here's why that matters so much. It's not just about returns. It directly tackles the challenge laid down by people like Bill Gates, which is to create solutions that fight climate change and global poverty at the same time. This model actually puts wealth into the hands of the poorest farmers on Earth.
Now, I know what you might be thinking. An 18 to 45% return. This all sounds a little too good to be true. But here's the wild part. The technology behind this isn't some brand new, untested gadget from a lab. It's actually ancient.
The proof of concept has a name, Terra Preta. It means dark earth in Portuguese, and it was created 2,000 years ago by indigenous people in the Amazon who figured out how to enrich their soil with charcoal and organic waste. This isn't a theory, it's history, written in the ground itself.
And this chart just says it all. Even today, 2 millennia later, these man-made Terra Preta soils are still 2 to 3 times more fertile than the untouched jungle soil right next to them. That is a permanent upgrade to the planet's operating system.
So where does that incredible 18 to 45% ROI actually come from? Well, it's not magic, it's math. It comes from 8 different compounding streams of value. You've got the carbon credits, sure, but you also get bigger crop yields, higher land value, and you save a ton on water and fertilizer. It's a system that just keeps paying dividends, forever.
So ancient Amazonian super soil is amazing, but what does that have to do with today? Well, let's look at how this ancient wisdom is being turned into a modern, planet-wide solution as we speak.
Brazil's low-carbon agriculture plan is the perfect example. The old way to fund this, on the left, is with government subsidies. It's a pure cost, 0% ROI. But the new model, on the right, takes the exact same plan and just restructures it as an asset, generating those incredible returns for farmers. Same plan, different math.
And we are not talking about some small boutique project. Brazil is aiming to do this on over 72 million hectares of land. That's massive. It proves this model isn't just a cool idea, it's ready to be deployed at a continental scale.
And this slide just makes the choice so incredibly clear. In a place like Palawan in the Philippines, the old story is extractive nickel mining. Yeah, it's for green batteries, but it destroys the land and ships all the wealth overseas. The new story, what they're calling Terra Prima, is about regenerating that same land, giving farmers an ROI, and keeping the wealth right there in the community. It's a choice between extraction and regeneration.
When you zoom out,
You realize this is about so much more than finance or technology. It's really about a new way of thinking, a new way of solving problems together.
The source material brought up this beautiful Filipino idea called bayanihan. It's this tradition where the whole community comes together to do the impossible, like literally pick up someone's house on their shoulders and move it. That's the spirit here. It's about collective action to lift up our shared home.
And this is the perfect analogy for what's happening. Henry Ford didn't just invent a better car, he invented the assembly line, a system that made cars accessible to everybody. This is that same moment for climate action. It's a system that can take it out of the hands of just governments and put it into the hands of everyone.
And the best part is, it's not just a nice dream. There's a clear 6-step roadmap to get there. It's a logical plan that takes you all the way from simply redefining what an investment is to scaling this globally with smart policy. It makes this huge, scary goal of reversing climate change by 2040 actually seem achievable.
This timeline just pulls the whole story together beautifully, doesn't it? You see this clear line connecting ancient wisdom from 2,000 years ago to a massive national blueprint being deployed today in Brazil, to the future being built right now in places like Palawan.
And this chart really drives home why this is so critical. Business as usual, it's a catastrophe. A world with 100% renewables, that's great, but it only stops the bleeding. It doesn't heal the wound. The CO2 that's already up there stays there. Only a model that actively removes carbon from the atmosphere can actually bring us back to a safe climate.
Which really brings us to the final, unavoidable question. The historical proof is there. It's 2,000 years old. The economic math is solid and validated. The blueprints for how to scale it exist today. So, what exactly are we waiting for?